I think there's something that comes also for us with positivity. I'm actually working on a project right now about recidivism and virtual reality and bringing virtual reality to people that have been incarcerated so that they can learn a trade and so that we can have less recidivism in the world. And it's in the United States. And one of my best friends has launched this. And one of the things I think that comes with positivity is believing in people. And I feel that when I'm coaching, I use positivity to get my clients to believe in themselves. And my maximizer challenges them to bring out the best so that they can thrive and grow.
Hello, welcome back to Coach. Today, we are talking about positivity. I'm going to Jaclynn first. Tell us where you're coming in from today, a little bit about you and your top 5.
You got it. I'm coming in from warm Las Vegas, getting a little rain today. Jaclynn Robinson, for anybody who doesn't know me, my top 5 are achiever, strategic, maximizer, positivity, and relator. And I serve as an executive coach and organizational consultant.
And now that's your own brand, correct?
It is. It
Yeah.
is. I'm really a galloper.
So some of you are sitting here thinking to yourselves, I've heard this voice. I know that face. I know that name. You're right. You have. And we'll get into that in a bit later. Jane, how about you?
I am Jane McCarthy. I am actually coming to you from Northwest Georgia. After 60 years of living in New York, we have transplanted and moved to Wildwood, Georgia, which is about 15 minutes from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And the positivity in me has to show you my view.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Wow. Beautiful.
It's an Airbnb that I positively found, and I wake this every morning. You can't be upset.
Your view 1,000% beats mine right now. If I turn my camera to the parking lot baking in the Sacramento sun, we'd all go, man, Brandon, don't jump out the window. That view is a win. All right, top 5, Jane.
I have positivity, communication, woo, input, and maximizer. Positivity, communication, woo, input, maximizer.
All right. So we do have a shared strength. I like that a lot. And I'm going to ask you both to start with just your high level of positivity. So just take us down the road of your top 5 positivity. What does that mean to you? How do you identify it? How do you help others identify it? So just big positivity picture. And I'll just come back to you for that, Jaclynn.
ooh, positivity. Even on a bad day, when I feel bad that I'm giving off bad energy to people, they tell me you don't have bad energy. And it was still good and positive. So I would say for me, positivity, it's always on, always shines through. Life is fun. Life should be engaging. When I have bad days, because people with positivity do have bad days, I tend to recover pretty quick. So I love it as a superpower because in terms of grit and resiliency, any obstacle very quickly becomes an opportunity. And it's, how do I overcome this? How do I see the good in this and move forward?
Very cool. Thank you. All right, Jane.
For me, positivity and hope go together. And I think of hope as holding on to positive energy. That's what I'm a hope activator. I want to spread hope around the world. And when you look at positivity and hope, I believe they're the fuel that keep us moving. And because even when we have problems, we show up and then it helps see us. We show up with hope and positivity. It helps us to see the possibilities instead of the problems. Because we're always going to have problems. It's finding the possibilities that come from the problems that make the difference.
I have said those words so many times. When team members come to me with the problem, I'm waiting for, please tell me you brought a solution. Anything. Just if you're going to bring me the problem, if you want to know the path to advance in any organization, solve the problem. It's magic. Yeah.
And if you can't solve the problem, find the trust team, find the other strengths people that can help you. Because sometimes you're so stuck in your own story that you can't get past the problem, that you need the trust team to come in and say, I think you got a story you're telling yourself.
Or even the options.
Yeah.
At least come with some options, right? Like, hey, if we could do A, B, C, or D, here's what I thought. And big one, stake reputation. I think we go with A. I think we, like, if you, like, that's such an important part. I love that you said that. So now I would appreciate it very much as you two look at each other's top 5. So get really curious. We're looking at some differences. I like, Jane, that communication and woo with positivity. That's a really common trio. I see that one so often. I'm married to that combo. I have a we'll say a bias. I love that combo. And then Jaclynn, but you have the relator with your positivity. So I like that little difference. And the strategic input have enough difference in how those strengths show up. We did input recently, and so I wonder how positivity collects. What do you collect? Like, what do you store? What are you resourcing with that? And then your drive with achiever is always fascinating. But I happen to be a maximizer, so I will be curious to hear how you both see that working for you. I find that my maximizer, because I don't have positivity high, can be really picky. I can be a bit hard to please. And I have to lean into my positivity team members just to be reminded, like, hey, lighten up. Like, they did a good job. Remember to tell them they did a good job. Don't just, great butt. Like, stop butting on them. like give them a chance to celebrate their success.
Don't shoot on someone.
Don't shoot on them. Yeah. No, I don't shoot on them, but I butt them. I do that one. Hey, that was really good. In my mind, I'm like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. And then, because I want to say and, I'm like, but and doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. And they missed a big part. So that'll be fun to hear how you both leverage that for us maximizers that need to be better. So, Jane or Jaclynn, you can jump in looking at each other's profiles, but let's just start to hear how you two break this down. And again, 6 through 10's fair game. So have a good time. Let's hear it.
Oh yeah, 6 to 10 too. I'd be curious about how your positivity and woo shows up, Jane. Because my positivity and relator, oftentimes people mistake as me having woo in my top 10. And it's down there. It's like low 20s, don't have it. But I love talking to people and anything that walks. I just find more engagement when I can go deep. So I'm curious, what does positivity and woo look like?
I think it's positivity, woo, and communication. I am a talker, and but in the last 5 years since I've become a coach, I've learned how to listen. And I think that shifted me a little bit in who I am. However, I had no problem walking into a room and, I just said to my husband, we have lots of contractors coming. And I'm like, oh, my new friend Darius. He's like, who's Darius? I said, oh, I met him yesterday. He came over to give me a quote. He's got to come and sit on our porch in a couple of weeks. I mean, I think the curiosity comes to me from woo. And I'm okay with knowing that it may not go so deep, and that's going to be okay. However, my relator is in my top 10. So I work with a tremendous amount of people. And I have many, many people in my life that are relators who really essentially don't like a lot of people. I happen to love most people. And I come in with trust first. And I'm not as guarded. I find my relators, and I'd love to hear your thought on that. Relators need to have trust built. I have to have trust broken.
Wow, yes. Well said. Just thinking about that dichotomy between the two. And the fact that you have woo and relator mixed with positivity, you can really see both sides.
Yeah. I'm a Gemini also, so I've spent my life seeing both sides.
Yes. Wow. Anyone that knows horoscopes right now too is like, oh yes, I see it. She's got the twins. Oh. Wow. Well, I think with my relator, if I think about people, I share the same sentiments as you. I love people. I love talking to people, engaging with people from all walks of life. Some of the volunteer work I do is working with the incarcerated or formerly incarcerated and doing streets coaching. So I don't care where you come from. If you're focused on self and wanting to create impact, or you want to do something purposeful, or you're focused on self-development, I'm here for you. I think, though, the way my relator shows up with people is I do love investing in them and going deep. I love investing and going deep and developing people. Trust-wise, I think it's probably, I side more with you, where I'll just kind of pick up on the spidey sense of whether someone is genuine or whether they're trying to sell me the snake oil. And that's what helps me decipher, do I want to even make an effort to get to know this person, or do I think they have poor intentions? And then from there, it's more or less the 3 strikes you're out rule, where if you've broken my trust 3 times after I've overinvested, then I'm burning the bridge. But because I've invested, I don't always cut the cord first time.
Yeah. And that's the positivity too, right? Because it's that hope that you're always striving for the hope and the positivity. Oh, it's going to get better. It's going to change. They're not going to hurt me again.
That's our crux. That's one of our cruxes right there. Anyone with positivity knows.
So I want to break in on that one. So would you say that positivity has a longer fuse, a longer natural ability to extend grace, forgiveness, kindness? Like, is that something that you feel comes with that strength for not only yourselves, but for others you've met with it, that there's a human resilience to it? I can look past your failings. I can get past even your 3 strikes you're out. I thought it was interesting that you added at the end, but not always. But not always. So I don't want to deal with the susceptibility of maybe being taken advantage of, but actually the virtue and the strength of what does that give a person who can do that? What have you found? How is that a strength of this strength that you can extend people in a relationship a pretty long runway to burn? And hopefully, and then maybe even at times start them all the way at the beginning. All right, we're all made up. Let's start again. And that cycle that can grow. Curious how you both think about that or define that.
It's interesting because we all 3 volunteer a lot. I just heard what you were saying, Jaclynn, and I know, Brandon, you do, and I do as well. And I think there's something that comes also for us with positivity. I'm actually working on a project right now, so we'll talk after, Jaclynn, about recidivism and virtual reality, and bringing virtual reality to people that have been incarcerated so that they can learn a trade and so that we can have less recidivism in the world. And it's in the United States. And one of my best friends has launched this. And so it's interesting. And one of the things I think that comes with positivity is believing in people. And I feel that when I'm coaching, I use positivity to get my clients to believe in themselves. And my maximizer challenges them to bring out the best so that they can thrive and grow.
Yes. I would share that sentiment with positivity and maximizer. Absolutely.
And it's funny because my husband has maximizer, but we listen to a podcast. We've been traveling a lot. And in the car. So listen to a podcast. And he's really what we call, I learned this from a podcast, a catastrophizer. So he is instantly going to think the worst. And he'll tell you that he's coming from reality. And a lot of my clients think they're coming from reality. And in my point of view, I'm like, you're catastrophizing this. One of my friends taught me a phenomenal phrase that I use all the time with my closet clients. And it's, don't put shoes on imaginary feet. And so many of us do the assumptions and expectations and put the shoes on those imaginary feet. The other day, I was talking to a fellow coach, and she said, Jane, you not only put the shoes on the imaginary feet, you put the socks on. I happen to be talking about my son, and I think that happens when you're talking about your children. However, it's an interesting way of looking at it.
Oh, that's funny.
You know how we start our coaching business on a high, only to get absolutely overwhelmed by the business side of things? We're suddenly supposed to be a full-time salesperson, marketing funnel maker, email marketing expert, social media manager, customer service rep, and tech expert all in one. Yeah, overwhelmed. Well, Lisa Cummings, our strengths coach friend, created a membership that gives you an insane member vault that will blow your mind. All the tools, systems, and templates to save you time and money. It's the actual assets Lisa used at Lead Through Strengths to build a successful strengths coaching business. All the assets are yours to customize and make your very own. She even gives you 2 years worth of emails you can use to serve your customers. So check it out at podcast.34strong.com, Lead Through Strengths. Again, podcast.34strong.com, Lead Through Strengths from Lisa Cummings.
Yeah, I would share your sentiments with Positivity and Maximizer. I think it's helpful at engaging people and creating fun in the room. And Maximizer helps push that potential that they want to exercise or maximize. And I see it too come out with strategic, because I love playing devil's advocate or being the thought partner and having them think about it from different angles to continue to nudge them to think beyond that current boundary or the current perception they have. Yeah. And then circling back even to the relator positivity piece, I typically do keep to the 3 strikes, you're out. I've learned from other relators, especially in just facilitating when we're talking about that theme, a lot of them hold the same 3 strikes, you're out philosophy, where they'll burn the bridge after that. So one part is relator, where, we've invested so much, it's hard to just cut the cord after that one initial trust break. But then positivity is the other side that says, yeah, I want to see what's good in you. But for me, I stopped feeling guilty about that. I don't know about you, Jane, because I'd rather be kind and know when I just need to kind of cut the cord than, be a cruel person. So I might wish them away, but that's, I'm going to do it kindly.
Probably for us, it's the maximizer that says, what are the lessons I learned from this? So instead of looking at it as, so for me, it's, I had a situation a few years ago and everybody in my life knew I should get out of it. It was a professional relationship. And I gave way more than 3 chances. And yet, in the end, my closest people in my trust team were not happy. And I walked away saying, I would never be where I am today if I didn't meet that person and have the experiences that I have. So, it goes to perspective.
Yes, absolutely. That is absolutely the way that I see it. Anytime there's a negative situation or person that I might have come across, it's, well, if that didn't happen, then X, Y, and Z wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. How do you connect your achiever with positivity?
Oh, it is my go-go gadget.
I love that go-go gadget.
Oh yeah, it is the inner coach and cheerleader voice that I have in my head. If I'm running, then it's the main voice. It's like, push yourself, Robinson, go. And, it's like my old high school track coach is coming in. But if it's other life in general goals or objectives, and it's a kinder voice, it's more like a cheerleading coach's voice or my inner cheerleader. Yeah. So it helps keep me moving forward for sure. Like, I got this, I can do this. And then self-assurance is in my top 10, and that's kind of tucked into to go, oh yeah, you got this. You can do this. Keep doing it. And then this is fun. This is exciting. And so I track my energy a lot, and I think positivity is more sensitive to that. Where am I finding a lot of joy right now in the work that I'm doing?
Is there a tension with those two? With achiever positivity, do those have tension? Because if achiever's like, let's get on to task, positivity's like, but I'm still having fun. Do those ever compete?
That's what makes it. That's where it's the great combo. I have so much fun doing the work.
Because I could hear achiever saying, "Get back to work, Robinson. It's not playtime anymore." You got to go to bed. You have an early morning, but I'm not tired yet. Like your positivity, like let's just one more show, one more night, one more comment, one more this. Positivity seems to be the one that wouldn't, is a little more risky, a little more, hey, I'll have a little more fun. And it's like I can see your achiever at number one being like, let's go. We have things to do. You play hard, you pay hard. Like I can see that coming through for you. And maybe that's the compliment, is that it keeps the balance of the fun side.
What's funny is work is just becomes even more fun. Like work is so fun. That's where I see positivity come in. Doing proposals is fun. Talking to clients is fun. Workshops are fun. Like if I have 100 to-dos for the day, that's fun. So that's where, I used to have a manager that said, Jaclynn, you say you're excited a lot. Like you're excited to do this. Are you really? I'm like, yeah, I'm really excited to take on this work. But she thought I was like joking because I use excitement with everything. I'm like, this looks fun.
There have been times in my life where I've been considered a Pollyanna, or people almost think I'm inauthentic because they can't imagine that I could be this positive. See, it's very rare to, and then when they get to know me, they're like, oh no, this really is who she is. But it does put people sometimes uneasy because they're like, is she really this authentically positive? And then they, now I'm at the point where I'm like, let them find out.
And some people, depending on their own mental health or emotional state, might not be ready to receive or be around people that have that much positive energy. And so I'd be curious with you too, Jane, if you've learned how to become even more kind of sensitive and empathetic to where someone is in life, to know, okay, let me dial down positivity. It's still on, but it's not at a 10 with this person. I might have it at a 1 or a 2. And it's just, you got this, or hey, I'm here for you if needed. And it turns more into empathy than this heightened sense of positivity.
Yes. And really not doing the cheerleading, but asking them questions that may be able, it's the how or what questions if they're stuck, or just sometimes I just say, I'm sorry. And I'm starting to learn as a coach also, as communication is my number 2, spending time pausing. I've learned from other coaches this 30-second rule, or row, row, row your boat, or, just be silent, Jane, or just stay in your own lane, Jane. That was a huge one of mine. It is not mine to fix. Yes, you're having a really rotten time in life. I am not your fixer. I can be here to listen. I can give you tools if I have the tools, and I can support you. I don't have to fix it. And that's a big thing.
Yeah, that is big. What have you found in terms of a talent theme that's helped ground you in staying in your lane?
That's a good question. It's probably still in the relationship building theme for me, because it's really about setting boundaries, which is probably one of the things I've worked on the hardest in the last 5 years, is having those boundaries. And I think you can still build relationships and then say what's in my control and what's out of my control. I give you an example. My son, he's 24, hard teen years, in a phenomenal place now. His daughter is a month old today. But in his hardest time, like in the last 3 years, when we were really out of the parenting stage, we coined the phrase LCOs. We are loving, conscientious observers of their lives. And that's a relationship building, right? Because I still love him. I'm always going to be his mother. However, he doesn't want the mothering. He needs a loving, conscientious observer that can let him make mistakes and I don't have to control that. It's not mine. I don't own it. I am a absolutely eccentric supporting actress in his movie right now.
Ooh, and I know not having children for myself, but having so many siblings I've grown up with and nieces and nephews, that is a harder thing to say than to do for parents. And so I applaud you for letting him walk his own life and being an individual, because it's hard not to want to see yourself in them and have them, copy so much of your experiences or maybe life trajectory or what should be done different.
But that, once again, for me, the strengths coaching and coaching in general, being an ICF coach, having that discipline to step back and say, am I giving advice? Am I coaching? How much judgment and expectation is coming into this? What's my experience that I'm trying to throw onto someone else? And how does that work, right? Because we all do that. How does your strategic play into this?
I found for me when it's the weight. It helps ground positivity for me. And so learner does that as well. But especially if there's an audience where I know it's going to be more scientific related or research or engineering related, and they're going to want more facts or artifacts or talking points than, this 8th grade cheer coach coming. So engage them in the room. I grounded in strategic, and I help them see where we're going, and that I still hope what we're doing today or this coaching call or this session is going to be fun and engaging for you. And it doesn't sound like I'm just up here lecturing. But let's get started with, the facts or the information. So I ground it more, and I'll do that with Achiever as well, with all of my workshops, is to say, I hope this is fun and engaging, but my Achiever also wants you to walk away with an insight or an aha. And if you have one of those, then that's going to be a win for us today.
That's probably one of the things that I have with fellow coaches that I work with. When they have Achiever in their top 5 and they're up against positivity, communication, and woo, there's a little bit of, Jane wants to have way too much fun. Why are we having an icebreaker in the beginning? Let's just get right into the details. Why are we trying to have fun here? Let's just give them the results. And there's been a lot of dancing with people on seeing that both sides work and being able to mix both to make that work.
Yes. I love the opportunity to mix both. I love it so much. Yeah. I could see how my I have discipline high and focus is in my top 10. And I could see how those two, they do want to stay like on task too. So they are the drivers, the organizers for my Achiever. Positivity just keeps me finding it engaging. But that could be hard, Jane.
My discipline, consistency are my 33 and 34.
Well, join with consistency.
So
and it's so low, but
people love my food. So we're moving after living in the same house for 26 years. I had a dream in March that everybody that had ever come into my house came to say goodbye. I told my husband, he started a spreadsheet because he's an engineer. He told my kids, we're up to 450 people that have been in my house.
Oh my gosh.
I am a connector, right? It could be that they came for a party, the birthdays. I was the family hub. However, I also love to cook. If you ask me how to make the recipe that I cooked, you are in a big problem because it's never going to be the same. Ever. The same thing with workshops. I will never do the same workshop twice.
My maximizer needs efficiency. So I have workshops that are already, baked in, but then I can customize lightly as needed. Typically I'll do that through Talk Track, but just lightly kind of shift a presentation. And some are customized, but yeah, now you can see for anyone listening, those are the differences, likely even how my maximizer discipline works versus, the themes you have.
Yeah. The maximizer communication comes out.
Yeah, woo with the 450 guests. That overwhelms me. I could go to a house where there's 450 guests. I don't want them in mine coming in and out all the time.
Most people, by the way, don't want, I do every Friday, I do a Facebook poll, and I just do it for fun. And I've done the Facebook poll of, would you rather host or would you rather be a guest? 90% of people much prefer to be guests.
I'll host small groups. That's the later that one. One-on-one, maybe a couple people. I'm going to need to know 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time you're coming, because the discipline does not like surprises or drop-ins.
No, I'm married 31 years and my husband prefers small groups.
Powerful partnership right there, right?
So we have learned to do okay, we'll have the big party, but then we'll have the small party, with just a few friends and do that.
Yes. I love a big party. And there's the positivity too of, I love a good celebration.
Where does that fall for you, Brandon, in terms of like maximizer for you?
Do you ever feel lonely as a coach or solopreneur? What if you had a place where you could surround yourself with like-minded coaches who truly get you, where learning, sharing, and growing together is the norm? Connect, Learn, and Share, started by Charlotte Blair, is a vibrant community of Clifton Strengths coaches from around the world. Hosted on the Circle platform, it's a place where you'll find people, processes, and events to help you grow your business, enhance your coaching and facilitation skills, and thrive in a safe, supportive, and collaborative environment. Connect with coaches from diverse backgrounds and experiences. Learn through a calendar of recorded events across time zones, and share your knowledge in a community built on an abundance mindset rooted in strengths. Visit podcast.34strong.com to learn more. Again, podcast.34strong.com to learn more about the Connect, Learn, and Share community. Maximizer's 1, positivity is more in the high teens, 20s. So
But hosting, like when you think of having...
Oh, gosh. So I'm married to a number one woo.
Okay. She and I would get along very well.
So I have... So with a large family, we have been the hub so many years. And so my wife has reserved the right to opt out of holidays lately and pass the baton. And it's created some measure of controversy in the mix because people are like, what do you mean you're not doing your famous Halloween with your taco chili you make every year? She's like, yeah, I got one more in high school. He doesn't enjoy it. I'm out. And so I'm starting to see the signs of our transition into grandparent life and, not being the hub for everything. But personally, I would rather host than go to places. I actually do. And nothing to do with my woo being at 13 and related 14, because that's where they sit. It has much more to do with I can control the variables at my house. I can decide how long this is going to go. I can decide what we're serving, who's where. And even though I know that comes with a massive honey-do list every time, and, before and after, I'd rather do that. So I guess I can go either way. But at this stage of my life, I think, let's bring him here, please. I want to come back to a couple things you both brought out with positivity, because, this is a pretty common strength, and, our guests are going to hear, our listeners are going to meet folks with this, and a lot of them have it. So talk to us about how people with positivity get the most out of the strength. How is it developed? When you think about what is the strength of the strength, and what does the gym time get you for it? Where do you really know? Oh yeah, I'm crushing my positivity strength. I'm max repping this thing.
For me, it's when it shows up as we, and not just me. How am I giving out my positivity? How is that coming through in the energy I have when I'm showing up with other individuals, personally or professionally? How am I supporting them with the optimism I share and the belief I have in them towards their goals or the challenge they're going through? So in a nutshell, that's how I would say it shows up in a way that would be really mature for me.
and for me, it's a balance, right? I find that I job shared at Verizon for 20 years. And my job share partner did not have positivity in her top 5 or even her top 10. And so but she had discipline up at the top. And so we knew how to, if you wanted to get an answer without a lot of background, like a lot of anxiety and a lot of questions, you'd ask Jane Monday, Tuesday. If you needed to get the Excel spreadsheet that had 17 tabs, you'd go to Mary Thursday or Friday. And on Wednesday, we'd work together. So like you said, Jaclynn, it's a lot about teams. And I think that's the positivity and maximizer coming out in us. Like, I much prefer to work with someone else than work by myself. I am much more of a we person than an I. I would much prefer to be on a team for the rest of my life.
That's where I think, and positivity wise, I love giving it out to other people, but work style wise, I either enjoy working on a team with fellow friends and whatnot, that's the relator, or just solo, because my achiever can just crushing, as I think Brandon said earlier. It's like, let's go. It just wants to be the Budweiser Clydesdale. Like, what else can we knock out today? Yeah.
And I'm more the cheerleader. I'm the one that's, so the name of my company is Jane Storm. And when I worked for Verizon, I worked with a company called Kobe Marketing, and I ran the Verizon small business loyalty program. And one day I walked into their offices and there was a huge sign up and it said Jane Storm. And I said, what is this? And they said, when you show up, we don't brainstorm. We Jane Storm. You connect people with ideas better than anybody we've ever met. And so when I left Verizon, I said, there's the name of my company, Jane Storm, connecting people with ideas. And then I added a positive force for your future. And it comes back to, it's all about me. It's all about connecting. It's connect, and input is the ideas. And then the positivity comes together.
Having a team member with high positivity in a leadership role, one of the ways that I've seen the strength of that strength is when there is success getting us around the common purpose of being a more engaging culture with recognition, which is something I have found that positivity does exceptionally well, or the mirth brought into meetings, allowing meetings to have a light side. People look forward to the meeting because it becomes social. And there's an element that is, hey, we just allow ourselves some friendly banter, some talking about the score of the game, just rivalry, fun stuff. And I have found that inside of a healthy culture, when you can laugh more together, you can work through things together. You can get to that place of, well, we form friendship. I know Gallup is doing a lot of research on friends right now and how important it is and how it sustains culture through a lot of difficulty that they'll face. So curious for both of you, just now in your work with clients, your work with others, and what you've seen as far as the benefits, the fruit, the power of this particular strength when it is given room to really be a force inside of an organization.
I have a client that I'm working with now, and her positivity is number 7. And she's running a team of 12 people, and she's new to it. And so she's trying to bring in a little, bringing pizza. They've never had, it's a government agency. They've never had anybody bring pizza for them before, that it was a manager, just little things like that. Having the recognition days, knowing when people's birthdays are, just little things, what happens is those things go so far, little micro positivity, gratefulness make a huge difference.
Yes. And I would say when that's backed by individualized, meaningful, and authentic positive sentiments or compliments, it takes it to that 12-foot deep level of appreciation by that individual or the team or, the organization overall, if it's a leader that's speaking at a town hall, whenever that positivity theme is backed with, this is what I appreciate about you and this is why, people see it as so genuine and sticky. And it's not just great job or are you just saying that to say that? Like you were saying earlier, Jane, where people might not believe it if you're just saying it. But if you say it and you see it, this is why I'm saying it, because I see it in you. And this is how it takes it exponentially further.
And that's the whole thing with hope, too, Gal. And we see that as positivity in our top 5. We know why hope works. And even when someone has bad news to tell, if they're transparent and they can find the possibilities, it may not be the word positivity, but to me, that's getting you there. If they can give people possibilities, transparency, and have trust, then they have the hope to move forward.
Well said, both of you. We have rounded the bend of our time today, and listeners, you have heard so much on positivity to build from today, as I would have absolutely expected. There was more laughter on this show than anyone in the entire season. So well done to our guests, to not only in the fun we were having, but also in the weight of their comments and what they brought to us to learn from. And so, Jane, I'm going to ask you first to tell our listeners what you're up to, where they can find you, who you like to work with. So if any of our listeners are curious, they can find the Jane Storm.
Yes, I do workshops. I do individual and team coaching. I work with government clients and corporate clients and small businesses, nonprofits. And you can find me at janestorm.com, or I'm on LinkedIn, Jane Buckley McCarthy. And I look forward to connecting.
Thanks, Jane. Jaclynn.
Hi, team. So you can also find me at jaclynnrobinson.com or ninenicesconsulting.com. Gets you to the same place and space. I'm also on LinkedIn at /Jaclynn Robinson, JACLYNN for anyone that's just listening in. And I'm on Instagram as Dr. Jaclynn Robinson. And I am industry agnostic. I love them all, mid-size, enterprise. I facilitate workshops, run keynotes, provide one-on-one coaching, team blend sessions, and leadership and organizational consulting.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for joining this week. And listeners, please, if you found some value from what you heard, please share it along. And to all of your positivity friends, send them the link. And those that may work with people with this strength or want to understand it more, either with someone they work with or perhaps partner or child, excellent information that you received today on this strength. And so with that, we will see you next time on Coach to Coach.
That's a wrap on this episode of Coach to Coach. If you've enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're a strengths coach looking to dive deeper, join the Coach Strong community. It's where coaches like you come together to share insights, support one another, and discover partnership opportunities. Be part of the conversations that are elevating our industry. Email community@34strong.com to join today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on Coach to Coach. Stay strong.